Bob.
Thanks, Mel. I'm here in Chicago to give your viewers a first-hand look at one of the most exciting construction projects anywhere in America. The newest ballpark going up in the country for the White Sox, the new Comiskey Park. And right now we're going to be talking with Terry Savarese, who is Vice President in charge of stadium operations. What a great job. How'd you get your job?
It's something I've trained for since I've been in college.
Yeah.
I'm right where I want to be.
Great, congratulations. And this is a spectacular new home for the White Sox. Tell me something. Why did you need a new stadium?
Comiskey Park has served us well over the last 80 years. In the 10 years that we've owned the ball club, we've spent over $20 million in rehabilitation. You know how difficult and how expensive that can be.
It's a big rehab budget, yeah.
Despite all that, we are still concerned about safety. We're concerned about the conveniences that we can provide the ball club and our fans. And that is why we are building the new ballpark.
So how will the new park differ?
More seats, or better seats for the fans, no obstructed views.
Absolutely, no obstructed views anywhere, right?
Better conveniences as far as more washrooms, more food services, with concession stands, a stadium club, more suites, better parking, better spectator access into and out of the stadium.
What capacity's going to be up?
43,000, about the same as we are across the street, except they are in better locations with no obstructed views.
Yeah, Terry, what's it cost to build a stadium like this?
It's a $150 million project, financed 2% hotel-motel tax in the city of Chicago.
So the city's paying for it?
The outsiders, visitors of the city are paying for it.
Oh, what's it going to cost at the box office?
The ticket prices will probably be up about $1 across the board when comparing seats in the old ballpark.
Fabulous. Thank you, Terry. Right now, let's get together with Rick DeFlan, the architect in charge of turning all these dreams into reality. Rick, it isn't everybody that gets the opportunity to design a ballpark. Now, what did the client ask you for? What was the wish list?
Well, their basic wish list was a state-of-the-art stadium in every way for the spectators, and not to turn our back on the charm and intimacy and character of the old ballpark.
The old ballpark, yeah. So, for example, what are some of the features you've incorporated here in the new park?
Well, old Comiskey Park sets at this site right here.
Yeah, and these will be torn down, obviously.
That's correct. These pedestrian ramps on this side of 35th Street really mimic the old park. This wall is the outside wall of old Comiskey Park. The home plate area right here will be turned into sort of shine so that 50 years from now we can all walk up and see where old Comiskey Park really sat.
Aren't you actually trucking the dirt from the infield over to the new park?
That's correct. It goes into the infield. The players like what's there now, and so they're going to put the actual soil across the street. Yeah.
Now, the new ballpark is all being made out of precast concrete panels, right? But
that's correct. We were actually asked to not turn our back either on the design cues of old Comiskey Park, and we've done that by using the arched windows. The material, the precast material, is actually formed in a way to mimic the brick, and the color of the old park was matched across the street in the new with this buff color.
What about the scoreboard and the pinwheels and stuff?
A lot of the things that people remember about old Comiskey Park when they're there are the exploding scoreboard, the pinwheels. So we put a state-of-the-art color video board in a skin that looks like the old scoreboard.
Yeah, reminiscences. I know the new park is costing about $150 million to build. What about this model?
$35,000.
Big ticket.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, Rick. Right now, let's talk with Joe Orr, the fellow who's the general contractor on this job. Big job. Hi, Joe.
Morning, Bob.
So is this the biggest job you've ever tackled?
No, it isn't. I just completed a job in Miami, about $180 million, 55-story high-rise building.
A skyscraper. So you know what you're doing. Okay.
Yes, I do.
Let's talk first a minute about the field, the actual playing field. What's happening down here?
Well, what you see right now is we're about a foot below grade, and you see the sprinkler head here. We'll bring this field up to this level. You know, it'll be sodded, and everything will be irrigated and drained off, so you'll never have a wet field.
It's not an easy job. It's not just laying out the sod, right?
That's correct.
Yeah. And then, of course, you've already done the majority of the building behind us here.
Right.
How much concrete is in there?
Well, the shell of this particular project are 50,000 cubic yards of concrete.
50,000 cubic yards.
And once that shell is completed, then you see the structure come out with precast concrete, which is the upper concourse seating, the lower grandstand seating, and then everything you saw on the outside, which is the architectural precast, the pink color, is all part of that.
Okay, but now you're at the finished stages practically, putting in the seats, all the blue chairs that we see
That's
up
right.
And the railing and stuff,
and then
right?
And then the things that we're seeing that go underneath the grandstand, the finish areas, and all the offices and everything are being completed that we can't see from here at this point.
What has been the biggest challenge?
Well, the weather. has been a real problem.
Windy City gets cold and rainy.
Windy City, that's right.
And how about staying on budget and on schedule?
Well, you know, we don't anticipate any problem with the budget, and generally we're, you know, pretty close to schedule.
That's nice to hear. Have you had fun building this?
Personally, yes. Being a sports fan, I take particular pride in getting this job done.
Nice job. Thanks a lot, Joe.
Okay, bye.
So, Mel, it's goodbye to the old Comiskey Park and hello to the new. April 18th, 1991. They'll throw the first